Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So we had our UK South Fountain Pen Club in July 2019 meetup, and this was a really good meetup, and I really do like this location. It's actually very bright and airy, and is really good for photography, so I can actually bring much better photographs, maybe some videos as well in future. I decided not to bring my Visconti cases with me, and I decided to bring my Goulet pen wraps. So I had a couple of pen wraps with me there on the table, and I brought a number of new pens that had arrived that I had ordered a long time ago, and these were the Scrembo 3, and this is a right here exclusive, and this is the Bologna blue version, and you can see here this has a lot of chatoyance going on, and you really have to get the right light to be able to see that pen pop. But it's a beautiful pen, and it's a pen that I am already liking a lot, so I'm really glad that Luca at Scrembo and also John at right here was able to come up with this combination of a lovely blue version of this pen, because it really is a nice pen, and I think it's going to sell pretty quickly. I also brought along a couple of new Scrembo fills, and these are the Verdes, and the light green one is the Prato and the dark green one is the Bosco. And the Prato is a new resin. The Bosco is actually the same green that was used on the Noble Green for the Scrembo 2, but again, it's a really nice pen. I love that colour, and I love that it's got facets on it as well. And here you can see in my Goulet pen cases that there are a number of pens in here. So these are 8 pen wraps or rolls, and you can see here I've got a number of Retro 51s and some ASCs, and then a few other larger pens. And then in here you can see my Scrembos, and likewise the Armando Simoni Club at the end there. In July I actually picked up a Retro 51, and this is a Space Race series set of pens. These are rollable pens, but I wanted some rollable pens, and I do like the Space Race and the Space Race series, so these actually appealed to me. So I decided I would pick this set up, and these are really beautiful rollable pens. So I tend to use rollables now and again. I don't use them much, but I like the look of these, and I like that they had the space theme going on, and also that it's the 50-year anniversary for the Apollo 11. So for me, that was a definite acquisition that I had to make there. And here you can see some of my Armando Simoni Club Polonius. Here I have the Arco Brown, the Verde, the Africa, alongside a Scrembo 2 in the Noble Green, the Cardinal Red, the Scrembo 3 in the Bologna Blue, a couple of Scrembo fills in the Blue Grey and the Blue Black, and also Scrembo fills in the Verde Prato and Verde Bosco. I also got to try out a Ryan Crusac pen, and this was a really nice pen that Gary had acquired recently from Ryan Crusac, and this is a pen with a limited edition number run of 60, and this is pen number 20, but this was actually a really nice pen, and you can see here it has a Ryan Crusac engraved nib, and for me, like, this nib actually wrote quite nicely. I believe these are Yovo nibs with Ryan Crusac's logo imprinted onto them. Then I also bought a couple of new pens, and these pens will be reviewed very shortly on the channel here, probably within the next week. But these are the William Shakur, and these are the Titan pens, or Titan Atlas maybe they'll be called. But these are really nice pens. They're 3D printed pens, and they are massive pens with number 8 size nibs. But they really, really do feel great in the hand and do write well. And you can see here a couple of the Scrembos, and this is the Scrembo Verde in the Prato and also the Bosco, and these are really nice. I do like that the Prato has a ruthenium coloured trim. I think it just makes that green pop more. I thought it would actually probably have a yellow gold or a rose gold trim, but I do think actually that Luca has actually picked up on a really good trim there. And here you can see it next to my previous two Scrembo Fields, which is the blue-grey and the blue-black versions. But these really do actually look a lot more vibrant, the Verde versions of that pen. And whereas the blue-grey and the blue-black is actually pretty good for, I guess, business attire, sort of using it in an office or in a meeting setting. But the Verdes I do like a lot. And you can see them here, all of my Scrembos side by side here. And these really do look nice. I also got to try out this really lovely Mont Blanc Agatha Christie. And this had a medium nib on it and actually wrote really nice. To me, it actually wrote a little bit more, I'd say like a broad nib, but it was a really nice writer. I've always liked the look of that snake on the clip, and I don't like snakes for some reason, just like I don't like spiders, but I do like that Mont Blanc Agatha Christie. That really is a lovely pen. You can see there that snake's head is just quite exquisite there, and the way it wraps around the top of that cap is really quite interesting. But you can see there it did have a medium nib on it, but it did, to me, write a little bit more towards a broad nib, I would say. I also got to try this really interesting glass dip pen, and I have a number of glass dip pens, and I don't normally like the glass dip nibs. This actually had a metal nib, and I'm not sure if it was a steel nib. I'm guessing it probably was, but that nib is something else. It really actually reminds me of maybe like a dragon's head. It wrote really, really fine, so more like an extra fine or a super extra fine. So it really wasn't a writing experience that I normally enjoy, but it was actually quite interesting to be able to try it out. And this is one thing I do like about pen clubs, is that we get to try pens that we wouldn't normally buy, and sometimes they interest us and sometimes they don't. I also got to try this Mont Blanc, and this was a 144, and this was from Jackie, and this again was actually quite a nice nib. It actually again wrote more like a broad nib, I would say, although it really actually looks quite nice. I do like that contrasting of the metal cap there with the gold trim on it, and also the black pen. I think it actually makes the pen look a little bit more interesting. But you can see the nib there. It's a lovely gold nib, and I think that is more of a broad or a stub nib, but it wrote more, I would say, closer to a broad nib than some of the other Mont Blancs that I've actually tried. And we had some lunch, and I decided to go for some fish and chips, and with not with mushy peas actually. We normally have mushy peas a lot in the UK, but I decided just to go with garden peas. But this was really nice fish and chips. And then Jackie also brought this interesting dragon scale pen, and this is a pen that is called the Emerald Green, and this is actually quite an interesting pen. I've never actually seen a pen like this. So the cap is actually made of bronze, and you can see there in that cap the bronze coming out, whereas the body is actually more of a scaly sort of resin, I believe. But that cap is actually quite interesting, and I've not seen anything like this before. So this was actually from GW Pens that Jackie actually purchased this from, and this was a recent acquisition, and it came with a stub nib there, and it's a Yovo nib. It's a 1.5mm nib, really quite nice. And here you can see 3 of my Armando Simoni Club Polonius, and this is the Arco Brown, the Arco Verde, and the Africa. And here it's next to the Ryan Crusac pen, so you can actually see that the Ryan Crusac pen is actually a little bit wider than they are, but shorter. And then you can see them next to my very large William Shakur Titan pens, and these are massive pens. And then you can see a group picture here with the Armando Simoni Club pens and also the Scrembo pens. So it was a really great meetup. I really enjoyed it. I think the venue is actually a great venue, and it was great to actually catch up with everybody again and see what new pens they had, and to have a chat about fountain pens and try new pens. So that's it. That was our UK South Fountain Pen Club meetup for July 2019. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.